New World Aeternum in 2025 is in quite a surprising state. I've been playing this game since the Brimstone Sands expansion in October of 2022 and recently returned after putting in about 100 hours recently. It's been a while since my last big video on New World, so I figured we'd check it out and give it a fair review to catch up on the news and changes for those who haven't played in a while and see, well, is it any good now? So hello gamers, it's Nyce and hope everyone excited to check out MMO New World is having a nice day. Today we will discuss, oh wait, I'm sorry, it's not an MMO, an action RPG? Really? I'm not calling it that. Well anyways, I just want to give my review of the state of MMO New World in 2025. I've covered this MMO a lot here on the channel, from artifact reviews, build videos, and a lot of outnumbered PvP, and I've mained it for quite a long time. Before we get to the present and future, we must first briefly discuss the past. MMO New World had an incredible launch, numbers-wise that is, hitting its peak concurrency at 913,000. Gamers were desperate for the next big modern MMO. New World, developed by Amazon Gaming Studios, released in 2021, but quickly saw quite a huge player decline, and these trends would continue downward aside from expansion releases, bringing back some people here and there. The big updates being Brimstone Sands and Elysian Wilds did a lot to bring players back, though not retain them, and of course we will never see even close to those launch numbers. Now, no game retains its launch numbers, right? But the decline and population loss percentage is something that gamers will study for years. After Brimstone and Elysian Wilds, we saw the lowest of lowest lows of New World, and that's around when I stopped playing. New World would see an average concurrency of about 3,000 after the developers went radio silent and just abandoned their community because they couldn't for some reason discuss that they were doing a console release. That still baffles me to this day that they couldn't announce that and they left the PC players on hold because they couldn't talk about it, but that's all in the past, right? But thus enters the rebrand of New World Aeternum in October of 2024, and this was a huge deal. New World would release on both PlayStation and Xbox while also getting a couple of PC players to return. The real big deal about this was that it was crossplay, and this in itself has the game feeling very populated anytime I log in. There aren't many MMORPGs available to console players, much less with crossplay, and this is really good for population, and that's where we are now. While the Steam numbers aren't too impressive, we must factor in that there's two other consoles that aren't even accounted for here. Not only that, but I recently noticed a slight spike in views and comments on my older New World builds and videos, and I was very curious as to why was there so much interest in New World. And well, it turns out New World Aeternum is now free on PlayStation with PlayStation Plus. And this is insane. New World loosely is free to play on PlayStation. The population, though Steam may not reflect it, has seemingly been surging, and there is a crap ton of console players per zone chat. And you can even tell the person's platform with the symbol next to their user ID. And I'll be honest, I see so much more console players typing in zone chat than I do players on PC/Steam. Now, we can't give an exact number or an estimate, as I don't, 100% sure know a dependable way to track console populations, but I think console may have, I'll say, saved New World, or at least kept it from dying. Let's call it life support. And while the game may never truly recover from its horrific launch, nor get back to a fraction of those numbers, Amazon Game Studios hasn't completely given up on it for their upcoming Lord of the Rings MMO. We are currently in Season 9, and I returned late Season 8 to a lot of quality of life changes. This video is already long as is, and I can't name everything, but here are some key things that may surprise you depending on the last time you played. Well, first of all, the new player experience is a lot better, allowing players to choose an archetype which is seemingly meaningless, as you can use any two weapon types you want at any point, and you can always reassign your attributes to better suit that weapon. Remember, New World is a weapon-based game, not a class-based game, There's the free-for-all PvP zone, which is very fun, high-risk, high-reward, extraction-style gameplay where you cannot group with other players. This zone even saw a recent rework that prevents players who would team up in the zone, and this is something I was so happy to see. I'd often go in the free-for-all zone when it first released, and there was players like, there's friendly fire, so they kind of keep their distance from each other, but they'll team up, you know, just not in the actual same group and just kind of jump you to kind of, you know, circumvent the system. So I really like this change. This debuff, the longer you stay next to other players, will start to really mess you up over time. You also have influence races, which are still a thing and make for some of the most fun open world PvP. It's kind of where a zone at a scheduled time will get 3 objectives, and the 3 factions must fight to control these for the longest for rewards. It's also still the open world forts that you're probably used to, and you still of course have to choose to opt in for PvP. There's also cross-server arenas, cross-server dungeons and expeditions, and cross-server OPR, which really helps the queue times these days. There's also finally a second OPR map. Oh my gosh, it only took them years, but yes, there is finally a second OPR map. We also recently got a capture the flag game mode that no one asked for from my understanding. And yeah, there's some new arena maps as well. There's even trials and solo trials available. That's kind of like the end game PvE. I know a huge complaint of New World is the lack of end game, which is technically still an issue, but they're slowly adding it in there, I guess, but not really. It also seems some of the open world zones have received good passes. I took a visit to a couple of them and saw new NPC types, and I know that was a huge criticism online to where it was like, what, probably 10 or less NPC types. So yeah, it's probably worth visiting just to kind of go through each zone and see the different mob types they have now. And while everyone isn't a fan of action combat or New World's combat specifically, it's something that I've always enjoyed. I know, stone me in the comments, but I actually like it. And there's nothing like some fun open world PvP, especially outnumbered. I usually don't include raw gameplay in reviews, but this was a fun moment where I was chased down by a Zerg open world, and yeah, I won't spoil the ending. I hope you guys enjoy this.
Oh, oh, we got more purples pulling up. More showing up. On the way. Mike is exhausted. Or pulling up. Block. Yep. Good job, Nyce. Gotta get some line of sight. Keep moving. Yeah. Good. Keep moving. Coming out the coming in. Oh yeah. I don't know. I didn't look, but it's all yellows. I mean purples.
Oh, yellow. Yeah, I was gonna say I heard purple.
Yeah, I'm dead.
Oh, dead. Where y'all are?
Weaver Sven.
Where the hell is Weaver Sven?
Weaver Sven, Maller's Shrine.
No, where the hell is Weaver Sven?
Middle. South of Eden Grove.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm not in group anymore. Shit.
Yeah, because the Q pop, we wanted to keep moving. I'm 200 out.
Oh, shit, I'm 500 mana pots.
I'm gonna rebuff because I'm still on 10%. 170, closing in.
you talking my language. Now you talking my language.
Okay. Yeah. It's all you. I'll just witness. Nice hit that. Oh, relentless rush into a heavy. Boom. Boom. Another heavy. Boom. Hit. Last one.
Come on.
There you go.
Come on. Come on. I see it.
Oh, damn.
Come on, Nyce. Finish strong.
I don't see you. There you go. Nice.
So while New World is steadily improving, I feel a lot of players have already written it off. I personally feel it's worth returning to, even just for a brief visit. I feel it's the perfect example of modern MMOs, unfortunately, though. And this kind of contributes to the notion that the best and most popular MMOs are all over a decade old, which is crazy because I feel the MMORPG market is wide open and someone just needs to release one. Have a good launch, you know. Don't rush anything out and just really just snatch up that desperate MMORPG player base. As far as Amazon Game Studios, I feel leadership has unfortunately constantly made poor decisions, whether that's rushing the launch and, you know, rushing it out with no content, abandoning their PC player base for a while, disrespecting their community after they asked for more communication, and the rebrand to an action RPG, which only confused people. There's also the fact that they are really committing to this ARPG thing and are actually doing seasonal servers. Seasons is fine and can work in MMOs, and I think it worked well in New World, but splitting a player base with seasonal servers just doesn't work with, you know, being an MMO at your core, at your base. The first iteration was a PvP seasonal server, which will force flag you, I think it was at level 15, and I think this died off truly after a month or so, and at least that was a cool and interesting concept. There was a lot of people had a lot of fun. That was despite, you know, max level players coming to grief low level players that were trying to do their quest in the starting area, but hey, that's here nor there. I think that was very unfortunate, honestly. The next attempt at a seasonal server, well, I'm not even going to acknowledge that one. I think they learned their lesson after that one because it seems like they might stop those going forward and just kind of stick to seasons and not necessarily do seasonal realms. You're not Path of Exile, you're not Diablo, and I feel while your population is relatively low as far as like your PC player base, while the console player base is, you know, picking up, you know, the population still isn't where it needs to be or where it should be to warrant you being able to do seasonal servers, at least in my opinion. Either way, while New World is far from perfect, I think it's worth a shot in 2025 if you're bored with your current MMO or just want a random fun experience or jumping in for the first time, and especially if you're on console. Is it worth being your main MMO? Well, that remains to be seen, but has found its way to become just that, with a lot more players recently making it such, especially those on console with limited MMORPG options. Supposedly, a lot of players may be returning for some upcoming changes with Season 10, and while it may not fix the reputation nor problematic and tainted history of New World, it does seem like the potential is there. Comment your thoughts on New World Aeternum below. Will you be playing in 2025, and why or why not? Please like the video as it helps others to find it. Thank you to all of our Twitch subs and YouTube channel members. If you would like to help support the channel and videos like this, becoming a YouTube channel member or leaving a super chat comment is the best way to do so. Thank you so much for watching. It's been nice.